Hello and welcome to another Aoe2 post-game commentary. Today we have an Arabia game for you, and I am playing as Mayans. Shadowfax is playing as Vikings. Juan Qatar is playing as Aztecs, and My Eggs Honda is playing as Byzantines. We have Era Evolution playing as Goths, and we have Hans Instinct playing as Huns. And you've probably already guessed it, we have a Viking pocket player, and we have versus a Goths pocket player. And a Goths pocket player is probably one of the scariest things on Arabia, as if you allow a Goths pocket player to boom and one of your flanks aren't prepared for a Goth spam around the 35-minute to 40-minute mark, then you've pretty much lost the game. And we're going to be seeing that, and that's exactly how I started thinking when I saw that there was a Goths player, and the fact that the Goths player was also the highest rated player in the team, also in their team, and in the room and as well. So it really made it that pressure was on to withstand Gray's offensive, and not get decimated by him alone this game. So yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking immediately upon realizing where the enemies are and who is who. So you'll see the reason the reason I wall up in such a fashion is in fear of Gray. Yep. So I'm just gonna speed up the game. This is normal standard Arabia. Nothing really fancy is happening. We're not gonna be seeing any drushes this game, I do believe. Otherwise I would have. We do see a scout chasing another scout, but nothing more than that. Let's increase the speed. And what's to know is that I always love Arabia games where I can wall up sufficiently, even if I have to spend a couple of extra villagers on wood, and a couple of extra villagers just idling around and walling. In my opinion, I believe if I can prevent my economy from being harassed by early knights or early scout cavalry, then it's pretty much GG for me, as all the resources that I've spent in terms of building up my palisade walls and building up my defenses, as opposed to the enemy building up his units to try and attack me and try and harass my eco. I think when that happens, and that feeling that your walls are being used and they're being used to protect you from a rush, is probably the moment where you realize that you're on even ground with your opponent, sometimes even on better ground. So you're probably seeing I am the first person to feudal age. Sorry, I'm not the first person. Juan is, but I'm the person who has feudaled on my side. So since I'm gonna be fighting red, I feudaled before him, and so that gave me that power in knowing that I will most likely not be feudal rushed, and I will not be even if I am being feudal rushed, I will be able to hold it. I will be able to hold that position. We're seeing walls here, and yeah, because we did have allied vision on, so we are going to be seeing the walls, and Shadowfax and Juan not so much, but Juan is walling up, and they are walling up in accordance to our side. I have not yet walled up this side, but I will do so very soon. I'm just providing some harassment pressure with my eagle, so to get some psychological pressure, like you are being under attacked, get that bell ringing, get them a bit pressured, and yeah, and I get a lucky villager kill here. My scout unfortunately will die. Scouts aren't faster than scout cavalries, eagle scouts, so my scout died, but I got a villager. It's worth it in the end. I know exactly where everyone is, where they are, and since I am going for a castle, I'm already in castle age actually, and since I am going to be booming, I'm not too worried about that. So we're interesting choice actually by Shadowfax, and we're seeing archers coming out from him, and they're going to where it seems to be. Oh, hang on. What is Shadowfax doing? So the amount of map control he has, he seems to be going all the way around, and it seems like he's getting chased by wolves, and that archer is unfortunately is gonna die if he doesn't start focusing down the wolf. But Shadowfax seems to be scouting with archers, and I don't think anybody has told him that there are scout cavalry from the stables, or perhaps he forgot this game. But we're seeing blue here. Blue in with some knights, and he's gonna get a couple of villager kills actually. That's one. I believe that's two, or has he already got his second one? Nope, only one? Really? I was expecting at least two kills there. But yeah, yep. He's encountered some units. Shadowfax is here on this end, and he's seeing his potential. Like I've said, he's just scouting the base and doing all that he can. But on this side, these knights are causing a lot of damage. But luckily, there are spearmen coming out, and these spearmen, unfortunately, you need a couple more spearmen. But they are going to be repelling the knights. We've got a couple of villagers garrison, and they're going to be able to deter the knights as well, unless the knights want to stop an attack. Perhaps they could have gotten a hit on this villager, but of course there are no hit bars, so you wouldn't be able to know. But on this side we have Honda here, and I've begun to start my stonewalling process and start my full boom, because if you look at the score, looking at my score and looking at Era Evolution score, Era Evolution is booming, is pretty much booming. Yeah, he has got a few knights out because of green. So I might actually have to thank green, because he did force Era Evolution to make some units here and hinder his boom a little bit. We're gonna see an outpost coming up here to just see what's going on here. But yeah, and this is what I mean. See this here. This is not going to be effective. This really isn't the best choice. Knowing that I've already gone into Castle Age, and that I've gone feudal first, and the fact that I've walled up, which Honda knew earlier by the two scout cavalries that he had, and the fact that he built a watchtower here, this is not the correct choice, and this simply isn't going to help him out in any way. And of course I wasn't thinking in such a manner. I was thinking, yes, I'm going to get more time to boom, and if you look at my score relative to Honda, I've got at least nearly double the amount of villagers here. The archers that were there of greens, Shadowfax's archers, dead. The knights from Instinct have killed them. We're still seeing a battle here, and I'm really confused as to why we're not seeing any siege rams. Am I potentially missing the siege rams completely? Still no siege rams. I honestly think had he gone for a siege workshop and then gone for a ram, that would have forced me to build a siege workshop as well. But of course he didn't, and I'm focused on this army, so I bring up my knight and I end up converting my way through his army, and I'm going to start building a couple more knights. Let's look at Era Evolution, and Era Evolution doing very good. Highest villager production. Actually, Era Evolution seems to have stopped building villages, and I seem to be on par with him. So where is his score coming from? Interesting. That is quite interesting actually. But what we're seeing here, well, of course at the time I'm thinking this score here that he has is simply due to boom, and that was what worried me a lot. But it seems like I was wrong. Meanwhile, more green is sending spearmen as well. Teal has his own spearmen, and the green is looking to wall up this section here, which is a good choice actually, because most of the knights are coming all the way around. But these knights, they're gonna end up being they're gonna end up being more of a force to. If they stay, they end up losing, and two knights already lost, and they haven't done anything On this side, I make my siege workshop. I build my watchtower to remove all these people that were attacking me. Grey, meanwhile, still where he's looking. Since the university is going up and he's booming, we're most likely going to be seeing him going up to Imperial Age. We're seeing him a good, decent boom here, and Blue has focused his attention on Green, and he's going to start harassing Green now. And what's to know is that Green took his villagers, spearmen, all the way to the other side, so he's going to most likely lose a couple of villagers. Unfortunately, nope, he doesn't lose actually. He's not going to lose any villagers, but he's going to get some idle time on his economy. Meanwhile, this side, while Blue's knights are here raiding, we're getting Juan, Aztec player, going all the way around. And unfortunately, this is an error in Instinct's walling, Blue's walling, because he didn't wall up this section here, and it's gonna cost him. We're gonna be looking to see where these Eagle Warriors go. Meanwhile, here we're seeing knights. We're finally seeing Siege Workshop out, and really this should have been out earlier. And if you're looking at the scores, me booming, I'm developing my score, I'm increasing it, I've got higher population than Grey. Still, of course, I do not know that. I still think Grey is being a powerhouse, since I do not know where Grey's power is coming from, or does he have units out on the field. He does have a few units out on the field, but I'm not sure where they have been going. Meanwhile, these Aztec warriors that we've seen earlier, they're going to start harassing this line here. And 9 attack Eagle Warriors. 1, let's count it here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Are we gonna see 5? Can we make it to 5? Regardless, that's beautiful. Four villager kills, simply because Blue didn't wall up here. Blue's knights are here, they're being repelled by this spearman force. But yeah, this is gonna cause a lot of harassment damage and a lot of economy damage to him actually. We're finally seeing the move of these knights, and they're trying to, again, if a word of advice, if you know your opponent's walled up, assume that he's walled up everywhere. It's okay to send and scout to see if there are openings in his walls, but get your siege workshop out and just use siege. People do not use siege, and it's so infuriating sometimes when I see this. Of course, when I'm playing, I'm happy, but when replaying this and watching it back, I cannot help but think this could have been very different from me had he used siege, had he used everything that he could do potentially at his disposal. Meanwhile, more booming's going on. We're seeing a castle here, a good castle, actually defensive castle placement. And right now our scores are neck and neck, and also Green is also booming as well, so I wasn't worried at this point. We're in a good position. I've been seeing the army that Red has amassed, and it isn't threatening. His score isn't that great. He hasn't been able to make use of the army that he has built since I've walled myself off, so his score is lacking. He's only now building his second TC, and he's going to start focusing on economy a bit late in the game right now, but nonetheless still better than nothing. Meanwhile, so many researches are going up, and at the same time I'm going Imperial Age. Instinct is, and Era Evolution is, and we're going to finally see that goth spam that I've been talking about all this time in action. Red has managed to, how has Red, wow, okay, when I played the game I didn't realize this thing, but apparently Red seems to have found a way inside Teal's base, and Teal is such an unlucky recipient of night rushes this game. He's been attacked by all 3 players. There was a small force by Grey also attacking him as well, attacking him right now as we speak. But he seems to be under the most harassment this game, and his score is reflective of that. His score is still strong. His economy is still going strong. He is still holding, but the amount of night rushes that's coming his way is not nice. Nobody should deal with this. They shouldn't be dealing with this alone. But here, these villagers are going to end up dying. Wolves. These wolves. Wow. Okay. These wolves are going to end up killing the villagers, helping the eagles do their job. Meanwhile, Red's army is here, and we're gonna see where he goes with that, on what he tries to do. Yep, look at that. I think that's Bob's wolf, and that's John's wolf. Yep, they're tamed wolves. I now see why they attacked Blue's villagers and why they're not attacking these villagers. I see it now. Tamed wolves. So these Red's knights trying to go around, and it seems like he wants to find an opening, but he doesn't. He's not able to. I send my knights over. I send my monks over to try and convert and protect Green's base, because I'm in a position where I'm doing very well for myself, and you've probably seen it. I am going straight into building my units, and I've built a lot more barracks. I'm going to start spamming out eagles to try and completely raid, destroy. And Red not occupied with his economy, and he's lacking economy, and that's going to be probably one of his downfalls. Meanwhile, on this side, we're seeing an army amass, actually, cavalry archer army being massed. Are we going to see a castle going up? Yep, we are going to see a castle going up. We're seeing hussars as well, with light cavalry. Meanwhile, Juan is still in the castle age. All these rushes have affected him, but he's finally built a monastery and university, and that is the sign that they are going to be going to Imperial Age. Red managed to kill a village over here, not managed to snipe a villager, surround it, and Red still trying to get into my base, trying to look for it. And this is what I see. I don't know he's trying to, but I've got a castle here, I've got a castle there, and he's going to end up attacking this gate, but not to worry, not a big problem. What is going to be a big problem is an Imperial aged blue fighting against an armyless teal, and that's going to be very interesting to see. It is quite interesting to see how Juan actually very good in terms of surviving the whole game and holding his own against armies of against the Knights of Red, against Blue, against Grey. He's been doing a great job at it, and we're gonna see that again here as he holds on once again against Blue and his Imperial army, and it's simply astonishing how well he survived. We're finally seeing barracks coming now. I would have assumed we'd see some sort of more units coming out, but we are most likely going to see their creation very soon. Shadowfax has been giving tribute, has been slinging. This I did not know, actually. This I did not know. Shadowfax has been given both me gold and Juan gold, as he has yet to build his own army. He is just going Imperial Age, so it makes sense that he's helping out his ally. And you think at this point, with a bit of siege, Teal would be dead, but you'd be dead wrong, and we're gonna see what exactly happens here. Meanwhile, my army here is amassing, and I'm soon going to attack Red and go full on. I'm building my siege workshops to try and get my rams out as well, try and deal with it. Both players Imperial Age at the same time, so now the playing field has become even now. And look at this. You see how I always mention siege. Had he gotten his siege workshop out earlier and gotten a ram in fast enough, it's all about speed, guys. This game, like, even though it's about tactics, strategy, at the end of the day, even if you know 100 tactics, if you can't use these tactics and implement them fast enough, all that knowledge of tactics, all that knowledge is just going down the drain, and there's simply no point of it. Yeah, I'm attacking straight on. I'm going for the buildings. Actually, I should have really went around and found his eco and just harassed him, but for some reason I wanted to go head on. Perhaps I had the power to, and I just thought, why not? But meanwhile, on this side, Grey is building his army, and he's gonna, I do not know this, but he's gonna end up fighting me, and we're gonna have a battle here, while Teal still staying strong. I mean, This should have. You've got the army. You've got the Imperial army. Why are you not using it? Why are you allowing him to build units up? This is just losing the advantage that you had. Even though they are Eagle Warriors and they've got that PS armor, the amount of units you have are gonna compensate for the power and the defensive power of Eagle Warriors. So you need to start using it. Like this, for example, you can't allow your opponent to do this, and when you've got this much units. So this is one of the reasons why Teal survived, is because Blue hasn't been attacking, putting that pressure on. He's been allowing Teal to build up his Eagle Warriors, build up some monks, make a castle there, and that castle is fundamental to the defense of Juan in holding this area. Meanwhile, I am on this side, and such an annoyance. Like, I mean, Red in terms of army and his score has completely depreciated. He has nothing, but yet he's just gonna build rams, and that's honest to God, I hate when this happens. When they just wall up like madmen and just like make it so difficult for anybody to come through. Meanwhile, here we're seeing Gulf Huskars versus my Eagle Warriors, and unfortunately, my Eagle Warriors are gonna come out on top. Simply because I have that I have high HP, I have the attack power, and I've simply got the mass that the Gulf player doesn't have at this moment, of course. So we're gonna see two castles. We're gonna see another castle here. Take note that both players are in Imperial Age, so all it takes is one trebuchet. Yep, we're seeing the first trebuchet coming up from Juan. And one trebuchet to start attacking, and this castle will also go down. Let's have a look at Instinct's economy. So he's using his economy a lot. He's using everything to his disposal. He's using up all his resources and everything. And yeah, at this point, Juan doesn't look to be in a good situation. If the Instinct player can get some trebuchets of his own, then perhaps he can make use of it. But we are seeing two trebuchets now for Juan here, and he's gonna most likely end up, if not killing the castle, end up using a lot of resources and a lot of stone for this castle. Meanwhile, green is coming in. I have tributed it. I have given some resources to red here, and I've given some resources to green, and later I've also given resources to Juan right now. I should have given him more, but one of the things I should have done, potentially I could have changed the whole game here, is if I had sent my entire elite Mayan force here, I would have been rolling. I would have been steamrolling this area. Since these cavalry archers are not fully upgraded, I could have taken down, and even if I had focused down these trebuchets and helped out my ally, maybe these castles would have stood. Maybe these castles would have stayed standing. But nevertheless, we have two players now attacking blue here, while meanwhile here, I'm still trying my best to get through. And this is the cluster that's become of the walls here. I'm still trying to break through and trying to attack, and although I thought I wasn't in a good position and I could have done better, at least it forced Grey to fight on my side and forced him to start putting his units into the militia line. He thought he would be able to simply steamroll in with Huskars. Unfortunately, he was wrong. I've finally got my siege rams. I'm finally in, and this really is now a battle between me and Grey, yellow and Grey in Red's base. Meanwhile, here all castles are down. Trebuchets are here. Trebuchets are there. We're seeing cavaliers from the Viking player, not fully upgraded yet, but if these cavaliers can be massed enough, if these pikemen can be massed enough, we're gonna actually be seeing a push here on this side and a 2v1 push here, where red has gone at the game. Doesn't look so good for these players here. I think the reason why, if Red had focused on economy after he realized that he can't attack me, and maybe perhaps start building into cataphracts when I was fighting alongside when he was fighting alongside Grey, this would have been so much better in terms of being able to hold off against me, because that then they could have made something out of it. But unfortunately they haven't been able to do much, and simply the combined armies of Grey and of Shadowfax and Zhuan are gonna repel this force. They're gonna end up destroying all these things, all these archery ranges here. Unfortunately, Instinct does not have any other castle, so he can't fight these trebs head on. And even if he does go for these trebs, there are pikemen defending it. So unfortunately, he's lost that section. I then transition to start harassing his eco over here. And I start transitioning into and upgrading my plumed archers, as I do see that there are champions being made. So I start using a bit of champions. I do build my castle here. So we're going to finally see some trebuchets from the Goth player. So my castle is going to be under threat here. If we go back to my vision, this is what I see. I see that these guys have pushed here, and this is what I see. This is the vision I see. This is good actually. This is like me taking away some of the pressure here. And on this end, I'm still fighting. It's amazing how I've yet to still push, and I didn't have the... Maybe I didn't use what I had properly, or didn't get enough trebs out. Maybe if I had actually idols, but maybe if I'd used my castles to build more trebuchets and just mass trebuchets and just steamroll this castle here. So this castle has been standing for like God knows how long, and it hasn't... I'm surprised at myself looking back at it, how I've got all these castles, the potential to build all these trebs, and yet I have not taken out this... I haven't built any trebs of my own yet. I finally am making some after I see the opponent has made some, but really I should have used it initially. It would have helped me out a lot more, because once this castle goes down, I can move in with all my units. Nothing will stop me. Meanwhile, on this side, not looking too good for blue here. Combined armies are gonna push it. No castles, no defenses. Zhuan is in a very bad state. Unfortunately, even if I do start... I don't know this, but even if I do start attacking Grey, sorry, there are a lot of buildings to take out, and a lot of things to attack till I get to his eco. So Instinct has resigned. His military buildings have been overrun, and he's yep, he's at the game. He's at the game. We're gonna soon see Grey and them resign as well. But after we had our little fun here, and Shadowfax is saying straight to Grey, and this game can be finished. So we're gonna be seeing that right now. But yeah, honestly, this game, if I had gotten these trebs out earlier, like now that I look about it, I've made such a stupid mistake. If I had gotten these trebs out earlier and actually taken out this castle, I would have completely steamrolled into his base earlier. It's at this point where my units are being massacred. I'm building spearmen and I'm thinking, oh crap, this Huskar army is going to end up taking out most of my army. Meanwhile, their combined armies are rolling. Grey doesn't know this. Let's look at Grey's perspective. Where's Era Evolution? So Grey doesn't know this. Grey doesn't know this, but Grey thinks he's being pushed on this side. He's doing a good job. I have to retreat my villagers that were initially going for the gold here. But what he doesn't know is that a massive eagle warrior army, and he's probably thinking, where has this come from? Meanwhile, the great army of the Viking army has arrived. They're gonna end up attacking Grey's economy and doing that damage. Shadowfax going 14. Let's start the game already. I agree. Let's start it. Let's start killing. And these Mayan Eagle Warriors, such brutes, such tankers. They soak up so much damage, and it's crazy. It honestly makes up for the lack of cavalry that they have, because these guys are so resistant and so decent damage, crazy, powerful, phenomenal. Probably I do believe they're the fastest infantry. No, they're not actually. I think they're not the fastest infantry, but still very powerful, very tanky. Meanwhile, yep, this is happening to Gray's base, so he has given up, and it's gonna closely be followed by Red as well, and that is GG. What a game this was! What a game this was! And this just goes to highlight again that if your opponent has walled up, you just focus on walling yourself up and then booming back up. If your opponent's gonna be booming, you boom as well. If you're meant to be fighting him, if your opponent's fighting you, you fight your opponent. If you can get to the edge fast enough and attack your opponent, then the opponent has to start attacking you, and you're gonna be disrupting his entire economy and his plan of action that he wanted to take during this game. But if your opponent's walled up, you need to start focusing on your own eco. And really, had Red done that, Red is not a bad player. I think Red's rating in this game wasn't reflective in the gameplay he showed us today, because Red's score is pretty good, pretty high, but unfortunately he didn't focus on his eco, and in the end a boomed player like myself just steamrolled through his base. If it wasn't for Gray helping me out and that one castle which I didn't take out, then maybe he would have been wiped out already earlier. And blue here, Gray, teal, well done for holding your position here this whole game and being attacked by knights and everything, and even being attacked by blue once again in the Imperial Age. Well done for holding on. But instinct, you needed to get in there as fast as possible. And in all honesty, had instinct attacked with like 4 or even 5 rams and attacked his town center, and this town center went down, everything else would have went down. It would have went downhill from there. And you've given the player too much time to try and build up, and that is really why you've lost the advantage of having that massive army. Regardless, this was a good game and I really enjoyed it, and yeah, this was a very nice game. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.